Welcome, welcome, welcome to the session that we have today for you. Citrix and Microsoft driving the future of work in the modern workplace today. Welcome to the session. My name is Sean Donahue, and I have gathered with me today a panel of experts that beats all panel of experts in the past ever gathered on a co-Citrix Microsoft stage here at Microsoft Ignite 18. See, when you corral it in like that, it's not a marketing lie. This is the best panel in this session that I've gathered so far. Joining me here on stage in order of appearance, we have Carissa Stringer from Citrix Product Marketing. We have Kurt Moody joining us on stage as well, and we have Paul Carley up on stage too. Today's session is going to be chock full of information regarding not just the Citrix-Microsoft relationship, because we're assuming that everybody in the room here is pretty familiar with that 28-year partnership that's been going on. But what we want to cover here is the vast array of integrations, enhancements, and extending on top of the Microsoft platform that have been coming out recently. We're going to be covering a lot of things today, right down to breaking news developments that are occurring as we speak. But we're talking Microsoft 365, Office 365, Windows 10, Azure, desktops as a service, Windows virtualization, the whole 9 yards. But before we start this journey, just to level set everyone, it's time to do a little survey. Survey says, how many people are familiar with Citrix from Citrix XenApp XenDesktop version 7.x? Show of hands. Very good. How many people go back to presentation server? Very good. How many people would go back as far as MetaFrame? All right, there's some people that just keep their hands up. Now we're going to throw it in. How many people go back as far as WinFrame? Keep them up. WinView. What about the Citrix slide ruler? No, I'm just kidding. That one I made up. All right. So the point of the survey is to say, if that's your familiarity with Citrix, this ain't your grandpa's Citrix. Citrix has been evolving more and more all the time to go beyond simple desktop application virtualization or desktop virtualization itself. Of course, we're going back 28 years ago. That's the founder of Citrix right there, Ed Iacobucci. Mission statement, making it easy to use any device to get securely connected to any app and your information from anywhere. And that is still a mantra today that Microsoft and Citrix are thumping the drum about, because it is critical for our employees to gain access to the applications, the desktops, the content that they require from any device in any location during any time of the day. Yet IT struggles with security, controlling, flexibility, and that optimum user experience. Amen? It's a struggle that we've had from day one, and we are mastering it still today. Now, it's time for another edition of what I call the grumpy old tech guy. Because the grumpy old tech guy gets to say, back in my day, the security perimeter was this. It was the employee's cubicle. When they turned off their desk side lamp and their fax, no, that's a dot matrix printer, and look at that, that's the 25-year anniversary clock. Anybody ever get the 25-year anniversary gold clock? When they shut those off and turned the light off in their cubicle, that's where the security perimeter ended. And in corporate IT, believe it or not, that was a relatively safe feeling, because when the employee left the revolving door of the office, the security perimeter ended where they left. They didn't have access to the outside data. They didn't have access to the corporate apps or data from outside devices or outside locations. I still remember my dad lugging home the first quote-unquote portable computer, but it wasn't connected. And it didn't necessarily have any high-value sensitive information on it, but it allowed him to type from a remote location. So the back in my day is that's where the security perimeter ended. But today, the security perimeter extends well beyond the office building, and it really encompasses the employee in real time. Depending on what device, what location, what apps, desktops, and content they're actually working with. And we have to be concerned about that security perimeter today. And this is the more complex security perimeter that we're dealing with today. It's a variety of applications, anywhere from software as a service, cloud-hosted applications, applications that are hosted on-prem, any number of devices that they may, at a whim, choose to use at any given time. So far today, I've used 4 devices in my normal, natural work day. Anybody else? How many people are using multiple devices already today? 3 or more. The security perimeter, that digital perimeter, has to extend beyond the office space. And now, dealing with multi-locations, not just Starbucks, not just Dunkin' Donuts, but also the variety of public clouds that we have. And of course, Azure being front and center as the public cloud of choice. Amen? So, how are these apps different today than they were in the traditional install days of yesteryear? And if we take Microsoft Office, Office 365 as the perfect example of that, the questions are raised. Is Office 365 a cloud app? How many people think it's a cloud app? Is Office 365 a mobile app? Is Office 365 a traditional desktop app? Now, a lot of you didn't raise your hands because the question is Office 365 all of those? And it is. People have access to it through cloud, desktop, mobility. That's the security perimeter, depending on how the user wants to access Office 365 and the content they're using with it. So Office 365, much like all of the apps and data and collaboration that we're using today, extends beyond the traditional perimeters of what we've known and loved as a desktop app. And isn't it true that all modern apps are multi-platform apps? We may be wrestling with these today. How do we ensure that the employee, we used to call them users, employee, how does the employee gain access to their productivity apps, yet I satisfy the security that is required of me today? This is what I like to consider the Wild West of digital workspaces. Because we do have that variety of cloud services that we offer to our employees, or worse yet, we have a variety of cloud services that employees go rogue and they get on their own. What we have affectionately been calling for the past 20 years, I'm dating myself, for the past several years, shadow IT. And yes, I've grown tired of shadow IT term also. And we've got on-prem and we've got different content storage locations. And it can be the Wild West in that digital perimeter, if not corralled. Data spreads across many sources, security is porous, legacy infrastructures are trapped, bifurcated experience and collaboration can grind to a halt if not managed appropriately. But the good news is, with the evolution of Citrix going beyond the simple desktop and app virtualization that we're all familiar with, and extending across content collaboration, and extending into mobility management solutions and networking capabilities, we're reining in that Wild West of resources. And we're securing it with that digital perimeter, what we call the workspace. And that's where Citrix is today in the entirety of the workspace. Amen? Everything the employee needs and everything IT needs to maintain the flexibility, the experience, and the underlying security to make everything work like a well-oiled machine. So users on the left desire the experience, security, IT on the right desires security with flexibility, and we wrap it all together in that secure digital workspace known as Citrix Workspace. And the evolution continues, and one of the things that we're getting into here today as well, the evolution continues with Citrix Cloud. And this is the concept of taking all of those Citrix services from workspace services, virtual apps, virtual desktops, endpoint management, content collaboration, and networking, and lifting them from the data center and uplifting them into a cloud subscription model, easing the burden from you, the IT administrator, to maintain, update, and manage all of the on-prem infrastructure required with that into a cloud subscription model that Citrix maintains, updates, and keeps evergreen for you. Because this is not yesteryear. We cannot afford to take the wait-and-see philosophy when it comes to applying updates, hot fixes, or patches. The vulnerabilities are too strong, they're too wide, and they're too fast. So let Citrix maintain, update, and keep evergreen the Citrix services in a cloud subscription model. Keep it evergreen for you. You in IT still maintain control over what features you want to light up or not light up. That's still in your power. And I know what you're saying. I know the number one question on the top of everybody's mind here today. It's a sixth sense that I've developed over the past 25 years. The number one question on the top of everybody's mind here today is his shirt supposed to be that tight? And the answer to that is no, it's not. This is just what happens when you travel all the time. The number two question that's on the top of everybody's mind here today is, what about my workloads? Where do my workloads reside in this new cloud model? Vert apps, Vert desktops, the content, the files, the data, where's all that reside? And to that question I say, I don't care. And that's not just because I'm callous or insensitive. That's because I have 4 kids. I say I don't care because you literally can put those workloads wherever you want. As my colleagues are going to point out to you, in the architectural diagrams, there's a cloud connector between your cloud subscription model up in Citrix Cloud for the management plane and where the workloads and data exist that allows you that versatility to put your workloads anywhere. Private cloud, public cloud, hybrid cloud, hypervisors of your choice. The choice is up to you. But it all comes down to this. That employee and their experience. Should the employee care where their app is? Should the employee care or know where their desktop is? Should they be concerned about where their data is physically residing or in what network path they're using, be it over a dedicated leased line or leveraging SD-WAN, Citrix SD-WAN on Azure to turn Azure into an extended network? Does the employee care about any of this or just the experience and the flexibility and the ability that she can work wherever she wants on the device she chooses? She has a great experience, she has that flexibility, and IT is ensuring the security across the board. That's what it comes down to, and that's why we're here. We are hopefully going to reserve time for Q&A at the end. And we'll have a little bit of a call to action too for you as well on this second to last day of MS Ignite. But right now, The question I have for myself, who am I? What am I doing here? Does anybody, and if we have these Citrix socks available still, you win socks. That's all I got. Does anybody get the reference here? What is it? Yell it out. Admiral Stockdale, Admiral James Stockdale, who ran with Ross Perot in 1992-ish. Famous debate. He said, who am I? What am I doing here? I ask myself that question right now because who am I? What am I doing here? This is a Microsoft event. This is hashtag MS Ignite. So you're here to hear about the joint Citrix Microsoft evolution, and you're here to hear, God, I keep using that, about Microsoft 365, Office 365, Microsoft Teams, Azure, Windows 10, on. And that's what I've accumulated here today as a panel of experts. The first one I want to call up to dive deeper into Microsoft 365 is my good friend Kurt Moody. So please welcome Kurt Moody to the stage.
Thanks, Scott. Thanks, Sean. It's kind of like the monkeys going on after Jimi Hendrix back in the 60s when he gets done with it. So it's more like a tent revival, and we're pumped. We got a basket. We're going to pass it around here in a few minutes. So great introduction. What we're going to do is I've got actually some demos that we're going to share. Where's the clicker? Right here. And we want to walk through the stack. So a couple of things, and if any of you guys have seen me present before, you probably know I've been at Citrix before Sand. Right, so he was going through, we had the Citrix slide rule. So yeah, I was a product manager for the Citrix Abacus, and I was running support for Citrix Fingers and Toes. So that's how long I've been around. But because of that, I've watched this relationship with Microsoft evolve over that entire period of time. They were one of the first seeding investors of Citrix, and it's always ebbed and flowed with different releases, and there's always been a new challenge for Citrix to extend the platform, and it's been exciting to do that. So at this point, if you've ever seen me do these presentations, in the old days, quote, back in my day, it would be the remote desktop services platform on the bottom, and then XenApp and XenDesktop on the top row. But this is Microsoft 365, which is Office 365, the Microsoft Windows 10 client, and mobility and security, plus the extensions of Citrix Workspace on top of that. So the demos I'm going to show you today, I think there's one small glimpse of a XenDesktop and XenApp session. The rest is around mobility, data, and security. So let's dive in there. From a product perspective, this is available as a on-prem suite, the Workspace Suite 2018, or Workspace Premium Plus, which is a hybrid cloud model. And there's a transition trade-up program there because we know that these workloads are going to move back and forth between the two platforms in any cloud or whatever. Obviously, Azure being the innovation platform of choice and what I'm going to be showing you today. So let's dive in. So Workspace app, how many of you guys have been to the Citrix booth already at the show? And if you haven't, come on by because all of the demos I'm going to show you today, they're live at the booth and we can dive into some of the administrative backends and the why and what fors. But Citrix Workspace app is the bringing together of all your applications, your desktops, whether they're traditional Windows applications, SaaS applications, your data, and again, those desktops and file access in a secure perimeter. You can do contextual searches across all of those resources, and Chris has done some really good demos on that as well. So we're going to dive into that. So what is Workspace app? It's a place to get to all of those. It's not Citrix storefront or web interface for anybody that's been around. It's an evolution of that goes well beyond with some interesting capabilities around security that we'll get into in the slides later. It can also be integrated within Microsoft Teams. And this is really just the beginning of that integration where we're embedding the workspace itself within Teams. What does that bring to you? What does that enable? That enables this modern collaboration platform for Microsoft and all the context around that to then integrate all of your existing on-prem or cloud applications as delivered through Citrix into that same platform. We can do that not only with Citrix Workspace, but we can also do that with the Citrix Unified Gateway capabilities and Citrix Storefront. So all of that. The icons you see published here are all SaaS applications, not HDX applications. And those are doing simplified single sign-on through our Unified Gateway, and I'll show you how that works, maybe even in the next slide or two. So as Sean was saying, the user experience and making that delightful and ubiquitous and seamless for the users, while also enabling IT to have a good experience in managing and delivering those securely, is really what Citrix Workspace brings this to, whether it's emerging applications or your existing on-prem deployments. From an Office 365 perspective, which is a component of Microsoft 365, we actually extend that to other use cases. We enhance the user experience across, bringing continuity of experience across various different client platforms, whether it's Mac, Android, iOS, Windows, of course, right? Enhance security by bringing together various security metaphors and extending Azure Active Directory, Microsoft MFA, and those things into Citrix as an IDP, identity provider within that stack, that allows a more seamless experience, again, for on-prem or various other clouds with Azure as the primary fulcrum point. And then bringing all that together enhances productivity both for administration and for the users themselves. So we're going to kind of dive into Office 365 through these different platforms, including mobility, in these demos that I'm going to show you here. So again, as I said, it's not just about Office 365, it's a full Microsoft 365 and Workspace experience that we're going to show you. So how does a single sign-on work? It all starts with authentication. What we're showing here is a single integrated platform across all of these different paradigms. It all hinges off of the Citrix networking in the middle, which is represented by the NetScaler device here, acting as an identity provider primarily. We are doing AD Connect from an on-prem Active Directory to Azure Active Directory and Microsoft 365 E5 capabilities in the cloud. And then we have our extensions above that. So with NetScaler and Citrix networking as this IDP and ADFS proxy in the middle, what does that enable from a use case? Well, your users in corporate are going to come in through ADFS Federation, and we can proxy that. So you're actually logging back in through the NetScaler, and it proxies those connections and the authentication into Office 365 through SAML. Users, external users, classically tend to go straight into office.com, but if you're using the IDP through the NetScaler, that redirects them through NetScaler, kind of like you would see with Okta or any other IDP platform. Excuse me. And then it makes the calls into your Azure Active Directory, and through Federation syncs it back into Office 365. Okay, we've got white papers on that, and of course we have the demo in the booth. So the screen capture I'm going to show you right here, I should be able just to click and it start, right? So you're seeing an office.com login. We're given the UPN of the user, and as you see, it redirects it to NetScaler. The user then logs in through that, which uses the LDAP calls, redirects it through Federation to office.com, and now they're in the portal, right? Simple, straightforward demo of that. You can open all those applications as web applications, right? And it's the same user contact, single sign-on across all of those applications. With Citrix Workspace, we have the ability to watermark these sessions so that in those secure environments with a secure digital perimeter, as the user's interacting with this, even if they wanted to take a picture of the screen, a snapshot, it'll give you a time, date, and stamp and who it was, so that picture never goes anywhere that you don't know who made that possibly leak from your environment. And we can show you that live down at the booth. All right, from a files and OneDrive, how many of you guys went to the Office 365 session with Sandeep and crew this morning? It was an awesome session, and they're doing a lot of great work there, and we've been working with them on that. What we have here is Citrix Files, which is Citrix Share File, but it's an agent that runs within the session, and this is actually a early Windows Virtual Desktop build that this is built on. So this is the new Windows 10 multi-user system with the Citrix Files enabled into it. The advantage here, and this is the kind of the way we've been working in marketing, because we have our own extensions for workflows, e-signatures, sign-offs, and things like that from ShareFile. But we use OneDrive as a big archive because it just more seamlessly fits in a lot of the Office applications natively. When we're doing this within a desktop, now we have the ability to move that data between those OneDrive folders and the share file folders just as an extension within Explorer, so that I can go through and really rough things out in the bigger documents native to OneDrive. And when I'm ready to kick off a workflow, then I pull it over into the share file data repository, kick off the workflows. We do all our approvals. I get it done. Final document goes back into OneDrive. But it all happens as a natural way with the way I work within Windows, instead of having to go to multiple different web access points to these different data repositories. So when I click Start here, and it's going to run through, and I'll kind of talk over what we're going on here, and I may even speed up through some of it if I have to. It's about a minute long or so. What this is going to show are the different file stores that we have access to through Citrix Files. It started off in OneDrive, but you're going to see me move through here, and it shows connectors to Drop and Box and various other capabilities. This is my OneDrive, just natural, native network stuff. So we do what's called storage zones for on-prem file shares. So through this same cloud storage repository metaphor and the security that we bring with that, we then also bring that for your on-prem storage location. So again, the users have one flow, one unified experience, but they can access their data regardless of where it is, whether it's cloud storage or secured on-prem or in a particular region and location. As you see what I'm doing here, as I open this document, I'm already in OneDrive, and I'm just going to edit a document. So we're going to save this document. As I was telling you in that flow, I'm going to save it to a share file location, which is just a pull down in the menu here. And I'll rename it to the name of the document. I think it's the Strange Life of Brian Shepard or something like that. And so I just put flow on it because I'm going to kick off a workflow with that. And then once that part is done, and I save the document, I'll end up in that share file repository. And then as you see at the bottom there, we have extended metadata that allows us to initiate those workflows. And that's just a right click in the shell. Again, once I'm done with the workflow, save it back to OneDrive for archiving. So that's the Citrix Files extension. So now let's get into mobility. There's a lot of cool stuff here where the endpoint management platform from Citrix, we've done extensions where we're actually doing the mobile device management with our endpoint management, and then we're tying it into Intune for their man bubble. What you're seeing happen here is the first user onboarding experience obviously sped up a few times. It's about, I think, a 4,000 thing, speed up. But what you're going to see happen here is once the user has logged in, and you saw that NetScaler login prompt happen, they'll use the native Word application that has been delivered from Citrix Mobility Endpoint Management. They put their UPN in, and like we showed before, it redirects them to our IDP to do the login. So it's all secured within that same paradigm. Once they've done that, and you'll see right there the man bubble come on and say you got to restart your application. Any login at this point onward goes through the PIN because that's the policy we've set up in Intune MAM. So we don't have to go through all those UPN and logins anymore. You've got simplified single sign-on integrated across both of those platforms. As we go to the next one, so another thing we've done from an extensions perspective is the Intune Secure Browser. So that's delivered as part of Microsoft 365, Office 365 specifically, but we deliver it through our endpoint management. And we've written extensions in the endpoint management to Microsoft's Intune endpoint management. So whereas with Microsoft's, there's like 20 or 30 policies, and we're all growing our policies more and more every month, every quarter, we're extending about another 80 or 90 policies on top of that. So it's a level of granularity of control of the device access and what you can do within those applications, right? So that's what we did, but we also added micro VPN capabilities. So this allows you to use that Intune Secure Browser to go through your NetScaler secure perimeter into your corporate data stores or corporate web applications as a gateway. And that was a demo. It only takes like 12 seconds. The next thing is the Citrix Content and Collaboration for Intune, right? So this is what was the Citrix Share File application. It's now our Citrix Content and Collaboration application for Intune. It is Intune MAM enlightened. So we've written extensions into that, working with the Microsoft teams, that allows those data stores, just like you saw happening in the Windows side of the thing on mobile to then share the secure context with Office applications so that you can do that. So when I hit send here, what you're going to watch on the left-hand side of the screen, again, is really just kind of that exploration of the folders and the mobile end-user experience. But what I want to call your attention to is what's happening on the right side of the screen. And it's basically a version of the demo we did for Windows before. So we're going to open up the Word document here. We've got that same phrase. And we're going to cut this out of here. And because we're running in the Intune MAM bubble, the local device is not managed as part of that. I cannot paste that data into any other apps that are not managed by MAM. You guys have probably seen this type of demo from the MAM container. But because the content and collaboration application is Intune Enlighten and running within that MAM bubble, I can open or create a Word document within that share file context and paste the data within that and move those documents back and forth between the two. And paste. There we go. So that's how that works. All right. So this is that was just a really quick overview of what we've been doing from the extensions across those different Microsoft 365 areas. That's probably, wow, not even 20% of all of the different capabilities we bring to the table on this. Please come down to the booth and see us and talk to us. If you guys have any other needs in here, we want to hear what those might be. We do have an update to our design guide around Office 365, which is evolving into the Microsoft 365 and Citrix design guide, and that's coming out this quarter as well. So with that, I'll hand you back to our beautiful MC.
All right. Thank you, Kurt Moody. Thank you for that. Now, I just want to highlight one thing that Kurt had mentioned, and it kind of correlates to what I had been discussing previously. When we talk about this whole Citrix cloud concept of uplifting the management plane into a cloud environment where Citrix maintains, manages, and updates and keeps it evergreen for you. And I said that the vulnerabilities that we have today are just too severe to take a wait-and-see mentality. Because if you're like me, you remember waiting 3 months, 6 months, 9 months before a service pack came out to actually apply it. Or you waited for V2. I've worked for startups where nobody would buy the product until it was V3. So we started with V3. But you can't take that wait-and-see mentality today because those vulnerabilities are too severe. But also in a Citrix cloud environment, when we roll these updates out, it is still in your control and your power as to which features you turn on or turn off. Kurt mentioned something called watermarking. And Carissa and Paul are going to cover that in a little bit more detail, but the watermarking feature is a prime example of that concept of what's in your control still, even though the updates are occurring in a canary-like fashion. For example, the watermarking feature does put a watermark across the screen so that if you are looking at sensitive content through the Citrix workspace, a watermark appears on the screen so that nefarious individuals can't take a photo of that screen and share it out. They can take the photo, but it's watermarked with the user IP address of who is currently viewing it. That's a feature that you light up or not when the rollouts to Citrix Cloud occur. That's the granular control that you have over Citrix Cloud and the new rollouts that are coming out. Now, Kurt talked about a lot about Microsoft 365 and the integrations that we're evolving and continuing to create between Citrix engineering and Microsoft engineering. And it was a great overview of Microsoft 365, Office 365, but if I had any money, and like I said, I'm a father of four beautifully expensive children. If I had any money, I would put $10 down that a lot of you still have Windows 10 top of mind. Amen? Who's got Windows 10 on the brain? Everybody does. And this is a safe space for you now to admit these things. This is a safe space for you. So Windows 10 top of mind. What we're going to start looking at here, well, another survey says, how many people have heard about the Windows Virtualized Desktop announcement this week? How many people have you heard about the sister announcement from Citrix about Desktop as a Service this week? You're in the right place. And I have assembled the wizards of that here on stage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the wizard, number one wizard of that, to the stage to carry us through Windows 10, Desktop as a Service, Windows Virtual Desktops, and then some. So first up to bat is Carissa Stringer.
Thank you very much. So lots of familiar faces. Again, Carissa Stringer, Director of Product Marketing. I've covered XenApp and XenDesktop for many years. So as you've probably seen, there has been some branding changes, some versioning changes. So I'm happy to walk you through all of that as we go through the presentation. First off, I want to say thank you to the tremendous amount of hands that went up when we asked if you were existing or previous Citrix customers. However, I do want to welcome folks that might have heard of Citrix for the first time and you're now just in the audience, because it's super exciting to see app and desktop virtualization front and center at Microsoft Ignite. So let me talk about, at the very first high level, let's go into why in the world would you virtualize an app and desktop in the first place? Right? Like, let's just start at 101. Here is a breakthrough. So I did kind of highlight Citrix Workspace, just from a high level. We have renamed all the product brands to make it very easy to actually understand what Citrix product does. So you're probably seeing and getting more familiar. So XenApp and XenDesktop has been rebranded. XenApp is Citrix Virtual Apps and XenDesktop is Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktops. So as you see more and more collateral come out along those names, I want to make sure you can make that correlation. So at a bare bones, why would you ever do app and desktop virtualization in the first place? And it goes back to Sean, we called him Ed I's original forethought there, to be able to deliver access to any device, access to any application and desktop from any device. Why is that such a powerful concept? I mean, there's the IT benefits of consolidation, but there's also the user aspects. Enabling a user to be able to work from anywhere, enabling a user to be able to bring in any device. It's much more of an abstract view on security, because when we want to apply that security across the virtual apps and desktops themselves, and less concerns and considerations regarding to that device. So you can buy a brand new device, as Kurt just showed you, and in a matter of minutes, you can turn that into a very productive business tool. So easy. We're able to bring in a new device. We're allowed to have access for anywhere. What about onboarding new employees? I will say most people that come into a Citrix EBC and we talk to them how they're using their Citrix products today, the first topic I always bring up is mergers and acquisitions. How many times has your organization come in and said, we're going to do a merger or acquisition, we're bringing in a new organization, and IT was top of mind? It's usually not the case. Usually IT is the last folks that get considered, but they're under the most pressure to get their the new employees onboarded very quickly. This is another key area where app and desktop virtualization can really help. You can bring those new employees on board. They have whatever devices and resources they have available to them today. And then you introduce the ability for them to access their corporate resources on your side of the house as a virtual app or desktop instance. Now you have a layer of security between their environment and your environment, and you're able to onboard those new resources very quickly. This is great for M&A. It's great if I have a branch office or I'm doing an expansion. But what do we know as IT organization if we take it back to the key reason you use Citrix technology today? It's user experience. If you implement an IT project, humans are naturally resistant to change. You must implement an IT solution that your IT users are going to embrace and love. And that's why we put so much focus and emphasis on user experience. So Paul's going to go through some of those in more detail, but I just wanted to talk to you about why you would even consider app and desktop virtualization at a high level. So let's go one click down and talk about architecture. You can't talk about XenApp and XenDesktop and Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktops without going through architecture. So I would have to guess and say a large portion of you folks in the room have probably done your implementation, and it looks very similar to this. You're managing the Citrix virtual apps and desktops management resources side by side in an on-premises deployment with your virtual app and desktop workload. So if you're doing this today, thank you. It's wonderful. However, I'm here to tell you we can make your life much easier. So when you think of a virtual app and desktop, what do most of you really focused on? Where is the part that's important to your organization? That's the applications and desktops themselves. If you look at it, delivering it as a cloud service, what we're able to do is separate the Citrix management plane from the actual resource location in which your virtual apps and desktops are hosted in. Well, why is this so powerful? It means that Citrix is actually managing all the components for you. We're giving you access to the latest features and functionality. We're doing all the updates and management on our side and giving you a pristine environment that you can go and apply your configurations in. So that lets you get the latest and greatest technology. You don't have to go through extensive updates, and it lets you focus very closely on the resources that are near and dear to you, which is your virtual apps and virtual desktops. So why is this architecture so beautiful? That's because you can actually then host resources on-prem, or you can run them from a public cloud like Azure, right, side by side. So let me talk a little bit about how we did this. A lot of times when people think of XenApp and XenDesktop, if I give you an example, we used to be very tightly coupled to the underlying operating system. So you had one version that ran on one operating system. Having that management plane abstracted from the actual workloads themselves makes it very easy for us to onboard new operating systems very quickly. So let me talk you through a little bit about our release strategy, and we'll go through this in one more click. But I'm really proud of the fact that Citrix is quite different from any other organization that's going to be able to deliver this from the cloud. And the fact that we use the exact same code stack in the cloud product that we use in the on-premises deployment. So this is very important for you because as we're introducing new features to the cloud, they're coming to the cloud first. You can see right there, we have a release every 2 to 3 weeks on the cloud. So you're in the new, fastest features there first. Once a quarter, typically once a quarter, we bundle in all the releases in the cloud and they come into what we call as a current release. It's very similar to Microsoft's strategy. And then every 2 to 3 years, we bundle in all the features of a current release and we put that into a long-term service release. Because you're here and I'm on stage, I get to tell you a little bit of insights into the future. So today you're probably familiar that 7.15 is our long-term service release. I'm happy to share with you that we are targeting another long-term service release in the second half of 2019. What are some other cool things to think about with a long-term service release? If you are not familiar with this, you can actually use a long-term service release VDA component side by side with a cloud service. So I have to do compliance validations or checking, something to get some sort of business certification, and maybe I'm hesitant to go with a cloud service. You can actually run all those certifications on the LTSR VDA and still integrate with the Citrix Cloud. So that was a big change that came when we shipped with 7.15 to make sure it's easy for you to get the best of both worlds. So let's talk a little bit more about release strategy here. So one of the other big things that we like to do, of course, here we are at Ignite, is we like to highlight the partnership that we have with Microsoft when we're developing our solutions. So I'm going to break this down to the things we do before we ship a product and then some things we do after we ship a product. So we're obviously very tightly integrated with Microsoft, and we'll go in through the Insider program and how we leverage access to early builds to actually build and test the product before it goes out. We are a member, and it's a very elite group of partners that are a member of the Security Update Verification Program. So before Microsoft actually ships a security update, we do validate that within our environment. And then if we look at post-shipping a product, so once we're ready, we think it's met all the requirements on our side, then we actually, if there's an issue, we work with the Microsoft compatibility team. And then another thing that you might not be familiar with is we think we do a great job with testing. We work very closely with Microsoft with testing. If we get to the point where we're ready, then we run through third-party validation testing. And if you aren't familiar with that, you can actually look that link right there in the bottom. We'll show you the results of that third-party validation testing. So I did want to explain, when we're talking about release strategy, how does that work? How can you say, Citrix, you have day one support for Windows 10? So this is just kind of an example to walk you through it. So basically, Microsoft's going to ship their Windows Insider Preview. So the way this works within our environment is we're going to do all of our development on that insider preview. It's a great example if you think about Server 2019 coming out. I think they said this week. So that's at least the last I heard. So we're going to do all our engineering development on an insider preview. So if you look at the example, I think it was going to be 1809. Now I think it's called the October 2018 update on Windows 10. But we're going to do all our dev cycles there. Then we're going to ship the version of our product. So here you can see we shipped 1808. Again, a change from the Citrix side. We're following the exact same release strategy as Microsoft. So it's the first version of Citrix. Virtual apps and desktops that we shipped in August was called 1808. So we shipped 1808 in August. We anticipate somewhere between September and October, Microsoft will ship Windows 10. We can claim day one support on Windows 10. That release is based on our insider preview build and development efforts. And then when we ship again after the GA of the Microsoft OS release, then we'll add any enhancements and fixes from that point forward. I just thought it was worthwhile to do one click down, because the next thing I'm going to talk about is how we do anticipate to have day one support of Server 2019. So this is obviously something that we will aspire to for all Microsoft operating systems, not just server operating systems. And then the next part is targeting the Windows Virtual Desktop. So obviously there are some client OS components that are involved in Windows Virtual Desktop, so we will strive for day one support for those as well. So let's go ahead and change topic, because I have a hunch that a lot of you are here to better understand the integration between Citrix and Windows Virtual Desktop. So let me talk to you about it in 3 different ways. So the first way I want to talk about Windows Virtual Desktop is the traditional way you always think about Citrix solutions on top of Microsoft solutions, and that's value add. So our strategy for Windows Virtual Desktop is very simple: embrace and extend. So here you can see a full breadth of enterprise-level management and performance tools that we are targeting for Windows Virtual Desktop when it releases. So from the workspace experience, I have a slide that will go through that in a little bit more detail. Portable layers is really focused on our application layering technology, so being able to do image management at scale. Environment management, that's our workspace environment solution. So we could do resource optimization, user logon performance enhancements. And of course, we're bringing in our virtual WAN and analytics technology to that environment as well. So if you're thinking of Windows Virtual Desktop, number one, your takeaway is Citrix is developing enterprise tools that you can use on top of Windows Virtual Desktop. So that's one key takeaway. That's not all I have, though. So we'll go through them. But wait, there's more. The next step is I wanted to make sure everyone understood workspace side aggregation. So when I talk about cloud service and everything that Kurt and Sean have showed you regarding Workspace app is basically a service that we provide in the cloud that delivers that beautiful new UI experience. One of the advantages of using Citrix Cloud is, of course, you have access to that. But probably the number one question I got when we released Workspace app was, well, what about my on-premises resources? So I wanted to make sure it was very clear. There is a component within Workspace app, it's called site aggregation. So site aggregation is going to be very important when we talk about Windows Virtual Desktop, because what site aggregation actually lets you do is it lets you enumerate your on-premises XenApp and XenDesktop workloads or sites with your cloud versions of workloads. So now I can go to the Citrix Workspace, and from Citrix Workspace, I have access to my on-premises sites as well as anything that's cloud hosted. So the key thing here, we call them resource feeds. So basically, you can think of site aggregation as how I'm pulling in resource feeds from content and collaboration, from endpoint management, from my virtual apps and desktops. That's how I'm getting all those different components into the Workspace app. So if I go through and kind of show you some of the different pieces that are coming out there. So in addition to the resource feeds, now we're also doing integration with identity providers. So our goal for the Workspace is really that it should be the one place that you can go to get access to all your digital resources, and then we can bring in a lot of the intelligence that's associated with it. I am going to tell you that I think Citrix is in a hugely unique position when it comes to security and analytics, and that's because of our ability to have access to the device in which that user is accessing your digital resources. We have visibility across the network, and we have a good understanding with what those users are actually doing within their digital resources. I like to use the analogy of a credit card profile. We would like to build the concept of user behavior within a digital workspace that says, this is very typical behavior for this user. Let's say Brian accesses his resources from Chicago, and he typically goes into these resources. If all of a sudden Brian starts accessing his resources from South Florida, and he's going into financial apps that he's never logged into before, oh, we need to raise some flags. Let's isolate Brian off, let's provide some restrictions, and let's escalate within our IT organization. That's some really unique insights that we have on the analytics front, too, that tie into the workspace. Okay, so now you've got, number one, you can actually do the enterprise resources on top of Windows Virtual Desktop. Number two, I can pull in all my Windows Virtual Desktop into my Citrix workspace. Number three is our new Desktops as a Service offering. So you might be thinking to yourself, what is a desktop as a service? So this is basically our new solution. Now we're announcing the intent of the new solution because Windows Virtual Desktop hasn't GA'd. But the idea here is you could come to Citrix, and Citrix could be your one-point location to get an end-to-end solution that is Windows Virtual Desktop as a service from Citrix. So there's a lot more going on here, so I'll walk you through the different components. So one, if we go back, why is this beneficial? Remember my examples where I'm talking about M&A or onboarding a new employee. If a new employee can bring their own device, there's a huge cost savings to you as an IT admin as well as to your organization, and you can deliver access to a Win10 virtual desktop. I'm going to go through it in next. When people first came to me and started talking to me about DAS, I was like, what is the point in an empty Windows 10 virtual desktop? I need access to my business resources. I have overcome that concept or that thought, and I'm going to walk you through it as well. The next part is being able to work from anywhere. So we'll kind of talk about how we can use that Windows Virtual Desktop instance as a gateway into your corporate resource. And then probably one of the most popular reasons why people look at a DAS solution today is pay as you go. If I have an M&A and I need to bring hundreds of employees on board and I want to integrate them into my longer term strategy for a Citrix workspace, but I just need to get them on board today, access to a virtual desktop is a great way to get them access from whatever device they have. So why do I talk about it just being a Windows 10 desktop? And that's because I think it's really important to look at it as the concept of a gateway. So if you are able to deliver a Win10 virtual desktop and it's hosted in Azure, and from that Win10 instance, you're then able to get access to your corporate network, now I've introduced an entire layer of security between the device and my corporate network. So any user could bring in any device. Through our advanced set of resources and policies, we're able to restrict the ability to map drives, to print, to do copy and paste from that device into their Windows 10 virtual desktop instance. From their Windows virtual desktop instance, they then have a gateway into your corporate network. So now you're able to give access to whoever you need. They get from their Win10 device or their Win10 virtual instance, and from there they can go access whatever business resources without you needing to do anything from the device at which they're accessing. So how are we able to do this? We're able to do this because we're able to bring all the necessary Microsoft components to market. So this is going to include the associated Microsoft 365 license, your Citrix technology, and the associated Azure Compute. So if you are a Citrix partner, I will tell you that we are actually making it easy for you to leverage this service to actually build services on top of that as well. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have regarding the offering too. The next piece here is that we, Citrix, have always been technology providers on top of Microsoft solutions. So for the first time ever, we are taking that relationship to a new level, and that's where we will be able to be a commercial partner with Microsoft. So for the first time, you'll actually be able to go to Citrix and get everything you need to do a virtual DAS solution. So, okay, you might say, Carissa, I got it at a high level. Just give me give me one click down. How does this work? So this is the third takeaway here is I want you to understand the Citrix DAS offering. So let me walk you through it step by step. If you had to deploy a DAS solution today, what steps would you have to take? Step one, you've got to make sure you have the right Microsoft licensing. Whether it's your Microsoft 365 or your Win10, you need to make sure you have that. Step two, you need to go and have the associated Azure subscription with the necessary compute resources in it. The next part, you need to come in and you need to build a base image, my Windows 10 base image. From there, I'm probably going to install an application on it like Office 365. Then I need to take that application and I need to replicate it out so I have multiple instances so that I can then assign my users. That's a real basic do-it-yourself DAS solution. Where we come into play, we are bringing all those components for you together. You now have a Windows 10 desktop base image that's available to you. You can come in using our high-definition user experience technology. This, when you think of 30 years of Citrix, this is what you should think of. You should think of our ability to deliver a high-definition user experience. That is what we have been perfecting for over 30 years. Then you assign your users, and then I also introduce advanced management and monitoring capabilities. I can leverage the new Workspace UI. And of course, then I get all the security components that are associated with the secure gateway. So it's really a simplified way to get you up and running on Windows Virtual Desktop very quickly. So let's go one click down. If you had to ask me, hey, Carissa, you talked to me about the DAS solution, what's the one thing I should take away from this announcement? Citrix is designing this solution for simplicity. We want this to be the simplest, fastest, easiest way to deploy Windows Virtual Desktop. That is really what our focus is here. So that means it's a turnkey solution. You could come to Citrix, you get one bill. To be a DAS provider, you need to be able to provide one bill that has access to all your resources. And of course, the other key thing to understand is we are bundling in Azure capacity. So if we just go one click down, what are the components that make up our DAS solution? So you have a Citrix prepared image. Again, it's a basic Win 10 image. From that image, we are giving you secure remote access. My Win 10 image is hosted in Azure. I need to make sure from any device I have secure remote access to that. I have multi-factor authentication. I'm going through my NetScaler or my gateway service, and then I also have that high-definition user experience. Simplicity. This solution was designed to make the admin experience as simplistic as possible. So that's the third aspect. We want to make sure the management and monitoring is there. You might be thinking about maintenance. Once a quarter, again, we're still working out details. Once a quarter, Citrix will give you a new instance of your Windows 10 with the latest technology. You're in control. You can make the decision. Do I want to move my users over to that latest version? Do I want to add and customize my image from there? So again, it's an end-to-end solution. I choose the term end-to-end and not comprehensive. If you wanted a comprehensive solution that's specialized for a particular vertical, that's a lot of the times where you would engage a Citrix service provider. And then this solution is also available for Citrix service providers. That's why you see that last line, which would be bring your own licenses if you wanted to bring your own Microsoft 365 or your own Azure subscription. So there's 3 takeaways, right? Citrix plus Windows Virtual Desktops, what are the 3 things you can do? 1, we have the new DAS solution. 2, we have the new enterprise management tools that we're bringing on top of it. And 3 is the fact that you can integrate Windows Virtual Desktops into the Citrix Workspace app overall user experience. So hopefully I've answered most of your questions regarding Citrix Windows Virtual Desktops, and I'm happy to answer any more after the presentation. So just to kind of summarize a few of the other additional announcements. So obviously, we're very excited about day 1 support for Server 2019 as well. Kurt's covered some of the integration, us becoming a Microsoft CSP with Microsoft 365. And then I know Kurt touched on the mobile enhancements that we have with Intune and EMS. I will call out one more thing on this slide before Sean goes through the SD-WAN pieces. Much like Kurt talked about the content and collaboration app being Intune Enlightened, I will also mention to you that we are focused on making the Workspace app Intune Enlightened, so that from the Workspace app you can then do that integration with the rest of your Intune applications side by side. So I'll be here after to answer any more questions on Windows Virtual Desktop. Over to Paul.
Thank you, Carissa. Put my water down here. So my name is Paul Carley. I'm sort of the Ringo Starr of this rock band, but I'm going to try and help answer the big question that's on everybody's mind right this moment, which is, what's the first ride you're going to go on Universal Studios later today? No, seriously. It's, what Citrix is all great information that you're providing to us, but, as an IT person, what's in it for me? What are you guys doing to help me make myself better and help my business grow and be better? So I'm here to talk about some of the added value that Citrix provides every day, especially through our virtual apps and desktops. So we are listening to our customers all the time. We do hear you. We do understand. We're doing our best to make sure we can get all those features and additional things added. But one of the three things that we try and focus on every time we look at doing and building more and making the product better is flexibility, making it easier for IT to be able to manage their workloads. Number two, experience. Carissa pointed it out. That's one of the things. Is if the experience isn't good for your end users, that's not doing you any good. And of course, number three is security, which is if it's not secure, you're not even going to use it. So let's look at some of the things that we are doing today that can maybe help you, or that you can see that we're working on to make it better, a better experience, even from last year when we were up here talking about it. So as we talked about the Citrix architecture, I won't get into this too much because Carissa kind of covered it, but as we continue to move forward, we've decoupled the management console to try and help make it easier for you to manage your various workloads, whether they're in certain servers, whether they're in the cloud, whether it's Linux versus Windows apps versus desktops. We're giving you the ability to be able to be flexible to manage all that from one single location. From there, we give you the ability, as I mentioned, to do cloud as well. So not only can you, and we're seeing a lot of our customers that are saying, I want to go to cloud, I'm not ready to go all in yet. I need some, I need to continue to, slowly move that stuff over. Hybrid is a big example that we're doing today. So Citrix tries to give you flexibility to try and make sure that you guys can move over and do the things you want to do when you want to do them, customize it for you. So we offer, several ways to do it. Obviously, if you're a current customer of ours and we appreciate your business, we have the opportunity to let you extend. So if you have on-prem workloads and you want to start rolling things out into Azure, we give you the flexibility through our management plane to be able to do a connector to the Azure cloud, start putting your workloads in that cloud, start rolling them out. We're seeing customers say, I like my current environment on-prem, but I would like to start moving some simple, easy access things to the cloud. This is a great way to get started, but you're still going to be able to leverage your management console to be able to do that. Secondly, we support a host where if you wanted to have all your, in a public or private cloud, you have all your workloads there. Our systems, as usual, are be able to support that as well. And thirdly, we offer, and you've probably heard of us talk about it before, which is our Citrix Cloud service, which gives you the ability that we offer our management plane in the Citrix Cloud. We do all the updates and management for you, like Carissa mentioned. You put your workloads in Azure. You can still connect back to your on-prem. It makes it easier for you to manage all those locations wherever they may be, giving you that flexibility and simplicity that you are looking for, we hope. And one thing we just recently added was on our Citrix Cloud services, we were getting customers asking us, well, I want to deploy into the cloud, but I need, the complexity and the things that your robust, management console offer can be a little bit not as easy to do if I just want to spin up a couple of desktops. So we've added we've added a new feature called Azure Quick Deploy. And what that's going to do for you is it's going to give you the ability to do a quick 1, 2, 3 ability to link to your Azure account, upload your master image, and then, of course, create a catalog and start going. So still gives you the option that when you want to click over and do some customization, excuse me, my voice is going, customization, you have the ability to do all that you can do today on it. But we're giving you that quick way to get it up and get it running and start testing as need be. And again, as we've talked about before, Citrix gives you the ability to, to deliver all these different kinds of, and I know a lot of you are customers in the room, so I don't need to talk too much on this, but we do give you the ability to do desktops, apps. SaaS is something that we're promoting as well still. A lot of people don't know we do Linux, so if you have Linux apps and you have maybe some engineering groups, that are utilizing Linux apps and desktops, you can do that with us as well. And then, of course, the remote PC. And of course, as you're all very familiar with, we do central image management. One golden image gives you the ability to upload those and stream out desktops and apps as need be quickly, giving you the ease of use of just managing those golden images. But one thing that we have added that's coming up recently is we're adding the Citrix app layering, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with if you're Citrix customers or Citrix users. The added layering gives you that ability that when you need to do an update on either an app or a user layer or even an OS layer, rather than break the whole master image down, you can pull out that one image, make the adjustment, and then put it back in, not have to rebuild or rebake the whole master image from that point. And of course, also workspace environment management. I think a lot of you are familiar with that, but it's going to give you the ability to maximize your use on scalability for your servers, improve your logon times, which is going to be critical for when you have mass boot up. You're able to make sure that your end users are happy, that they're able to log in quickly. We help you maximize what needs to be start up and what needs to get going early so people can get up and running. And then also, of course, with that feature, it gives you the ability that you can extend the life on your PCs because you're streaming those virtual apps and desktops. It makes it easier for you to keep your PCs in play a lot longer than you would normally, so it helps you save a little money. And then the next section, we'll talk about the experience, obviously, and what is Citrix doing to help improve the experience that a customer has every day. I won't need to talk too much about HDX. I think you're all pretty familiar with it, but we still are utilizing HDX, and it's one of the key things that differentiates us from others. We still give you that great experience, and that helps improve the customer or your end user experience there. One of the things that we've recently added was the adaptive transport. And if you're familiar with adaptive transport, what we're ultimately doing is we're monitoring the EDT and TCP channels. And as a customer has an active desktop or an active app, it's going to monitor which has the best signal or the best flow through, and it's going to switch on as need be to continue to give your customer, your end user, that good experience no matter where they are, and hopefully they keep using and enjoying it. I got a little animation here, going to move forward. So what we're seeing as we've tested it and as we're rolling it out, we are seeing significant improvements on printing, on file transfers, those kind of things. So we continue to improve and try and make it easier for the user to get in, get their work done, and get that same experience they would have with a desktop. And as I mentioned before, some of the new things that we've rolled out recently this year so far, including these are some of the ones that we've included here. Things like battery status. We've taken the ability. We took feedback from customers who said, "I have a desktop. I have it full screen on my laptop. I have a virtual desktop, but I was not able to see my battery icon in my desktop or my laptop, and my battery died, and I never even knew." So what we did was we punched through the battery life indicator right in there. So now you're able to see it without having to move away from the desktop. Keeps your end users continually being productive, and there's no chance of losing content as they're working on it. One of the other things that we worked on was the lossless image quality. What we're trying to do is make it so that when the end user is in an environment where maybe you're getting a little bit of latency, we'll degrade the image just a hair to keep them being able to use their mouse and their keyboard fluently. And as soon as they can as soon as the signal gets better, that image quality will return. So we're continually, as you can see, we're doing a lot of those updates. And again, we just rolled out 1808, as Carissa mentioned. We're continuing to improve throughput and transfer. So as you can see, we're not stopping there. as well as graphics. We're reducing bandwidth graphics. We're continually working, even from last year's versions that we have. We're continually improving. We're seeing up to 15% right now with the latest version out there. So we're continuing to improve our bandwidth rates. That's going to make it easier for you to add more users online and keep your bandwidth rates down and keep your experience smooth. And of course, we're working on our video codecs. We're improving there. When you have apps that have high bandwidth use cases, we're seeing where we can lower the bandwidth percentage by up to 25%. There, we are working with NVIDIA and several of the other industry folks to make that improvement and continue to use it so the customer gets the same experience regardless. As you can see, we're working with NVIDIA. One of the other things, again, Skype for Business, we do Skype to Business optimization. We have over 750,000 daily users. We are the recommended version for when you virtualize Skype for Business. That's something that we do, something that we recommend, and we do it well. One thing I wanted to mention was now we're adding Skype optimization for Chromebooks. That's coming soon. So if you're utilizing Chromebooks, you can utilize Skype through use of Citrix, and we're working with Microsoft on that. And again, as Carissa mentioned, we are working with Microsoft Teams. We are continually looking to improve it and help virtualize it in that capacity. In the interest of time, I'm going to continue to move forward because we only have a few minutes and talk through quickly about security. Sean also mentioned about the big picture about security. We're trying to make sure that it's a secure environment. Obviously, ease of use, user experience is important, but having a secure environment is the key. And again, I'll talk quickly about this. Policy controls. We give you the ability to do very micro policy controls. If you want customer service to have access to certain things, but you don't want maybe HR, or you want HR to see it, but not customer service, you're able to do that. You can turn features on and off based on the type of user you have. As well as, I'm not going to go into detail because Sean kind of stole my thunder here, but we do have text-based watermarking now. Gives you the ability to, we're not going to prevent somebody from being able to take a picture and put it online, but we can track who did that and maybe when they did, because we can you can put that data on the screen at that time. And then again, we kind of talked about SaaS, being able to work closely with SaaS and be able to do single sign-on when you virtualize these things, and working with the workspace, you're able to do a lot of that through the workspace. And like I said, in the interest of time, I won't go into that too much, but we have a demo in our demo center. And then one last thing I wanted to mention was our virtual cloud, for our government customers, we do have the ability now that we are supporting Azure Gov and Azure Germany. And if you need to have access to those, now our virtual cloud supports that. We even have for government customers that are in need of having their management console as well in the Azure Gov Cloud. We give you that ability now too. So we can talk about that in the booth if you have any additional information. But I'll turn it over to Sean. Thanks.
All right, Paul, thank you very much. Going through puberty on stage, Paul Carley. All right, now it's time. If you have an albuterol and asthma inhaler, I suggest you take a puff off of that inhaler right now. Breathe deep, because now we have mere minutes left to cover breaking news. Breaking news are some of the more recent developments that have been coming out this week or even prior to coming into Microsoft Ignite. We have talked a bit about Citrix Workspace app being the aggregation, the central jumping point for all of your SaaS apps, Vert desktops, and content collaboration. The 1-2 jumping spot for your employees in which to make their lives much easier. built, of course, on existing Citrix technologies like receiver, HDX protocols, and more. What we really want to talk to you about more at the booth is Citrix networking and some of the advancements that we've been making with Microsoft and on Azure when it comes to Citrix networking components such as SD-WAN. To say that Citrix SD-WAN is a preferred SD-WAN provider for Azure Virtual WAN, now generally available, to say that we're the preferred or it is an elite group, I think it's safe to say that I have more ex-wives than there are partners in this group of preferred partners for SD-WAN. But if you look at SD-WAN and ADC, the Application Delivery Controller from Citrix on Azure, if you look at those as just firewall, as just packet acceleration, as just global server load balancing, if that's how you look at them and that's all you see, that's like looking at me and only seeing a swimsuit model. There's much more depth to these solutions. Unfortunately, our time is out here. But SD-WAN, I'm going to make that guy in the back mad. And I don't want to do that because he's so much bigger than I am. But SD-WAN, improving performance, reducing branch connectivity costs, enhancing security. We're talking app and network layer as well. Packet level path selection across the internet, across Azure as well. Firewall routing, making your expansion even more. Application delivery controller. As well. And we have a whole list of features here to your benefits. And a couple of them I just wanted to call out. Large corporate sites with corporate sensitive data staying on-prem, burst loading up into Azure, yet using intranet DNS name resolution and Azure DNS to successfully manage and migrate traffic across. Branch offices leveraging SD-WAN, et cetera, et cetera. And we did not have time, and I do want to apologize. We did not even have time to talk Citrix Analytics. That's user behavioral analysis to see if employees inside your organization are actually doing nefarious or unlike behavior for their norms. Again, call to action. Come down to the Citrix booth. You have about an hour and a half to get there before it shuts down. Citrix.com/blogs is your one-stop shop for all of these fine authors up here. We call Kurt the F. Scott Fitzgerald of blogging. That may be because of his drinking habits. I don't know. But it is one-stop shop for all things Citrix as well. We thank you for your time. On behalf of my panelists here, thank you for sticking with us for over 75 minutes. Have a great rest of the show. Thank you, everybody.